My name is Bao Ha. I am one of the gunsmiths at Armory, and today we're going to be looking at a 20-inch Faxon gunner profile barrel for an AR-15. Faxon is a very reputable company as far as AR barrels are concerned. They have their regular line of barrels. This is one of those. It's a very good replacement for a lot of more budget rifles and their stock barrels. 5.56 .223, this applies to both variations of the cartridge, is a supersonic, very small rifle platform. It is better suited to higher velocities, and one of the best ways to get higher velocities is to have a longer barrel. With a longer barrel, you have more time for the gas to be able to act on the bullet itself, impart more spin, and propel the bullet faster. So a 20-inch barrel, you would get more range than any shorter length barrel. With shorter length barrels, you obviously have a more, I guess you would say, CQB friendly platform, but with a longer barrel, general rule of thumb is if the barrels are made by the same manufacturer, a longer barrel would have more range and better accuracy at range because you have more time to be able to stabilize the bullet as it's passing through the barrel. Rifle length barrels, 20-inch barrels, or in some cases with some manufacturers, 18-inch barrels often come with a rifle length gas system. The gas system changes the characteristics of the recoil of the firearm. For an AR-15, a rifle length gas system is about as long as you can make it. It's going to give you the smoothest recoil impulse because at that point, the powder has finished its burn and is not actively burning still. On shorter barrels with shorter gas systems, you'll have much more explosive gas running through the barrel and the gas system, which means a more violent reaction for the recoil impulse. With a rifle length gas, many people would call it a smoother shooting rifle because at that point the gas is just expanding and not burning more powder to create more gas. It's a much less violent impulse. So if you want a more accurate rifle that you can reach out a little bit farther with and has a smoother felt recoil impulse, I would suggest going with a longer length barrel. Muzzle energy is mostly determined by the barrel length in that, like I said earlier, the longer the barrel, the faster the round is coming out of the barrel because it has had more time to be accelerated by the gas as the powder burns and it pushes the round through the barrel. A small bullet going faster is going to penetrate more than a small bullet going slower. If you want penetrative power, then you want to get as much speed as possible and with the same round, and easiest way to do that is to just increase your barrel length. So this is the Faxon 20-inch barrel. I actually run a Faxon match 18-inch rifle length gas barrel on one of my personal ARs, so I really like that barrel. It is touted as sub-MOA. There's no such guarantees on their non-match barrels, but from experience with them and from anecdotes online, they shoot very well. If you feed it good ammo and you build the rest of the gun to match, then they're pretty accurate. It's just protective stuff for shipping, and the end caps to cover the threads. If you're moving a barrel and it's not attached to anything, the threads you want to make sure are covered, because if you don't, there's a good chance you might nick one of them, and rethreading costs money and is not fun for you, the consumer. But Faxon uses a QPQ finish on a lot of their barrels. It's just one of the myriad number of chemical finishes that you can use on gun parts that see a lot of heat. I haven't had any issues with any of my Faxon barrels or other parts, and most of their stuff I think is QPQ coated. This particular profile is called the gunner profile. It is a little bit thicker than Faxon's thinnest barrel profile, which is their pencil. They call it the pencil because it is just one thin straight line. That's the profile I have on my personal rifle. This would be for someone who wants to have a little bit more mass on their barrel to soak up heat. The more mass that a barrel has, the more shots you can take before you start seeing overheating of the barrel. And depending on who you talk to, overheating of barrels and how it affects accuracy can differ. But general rule is that as metal heats up, the tolerances start to loosen. So for a barrel that you want to be as accurate as possible, if you send a bunch of rounds through it and it heats up like crazy, you're not going to get as good accuracy as if it was a cooler barrel. So you have most of the weight sitting in the back of the barrel, which is in stark contrast to what we would call the government profile, which is the mil-spec M4 M16 profile barrel, where there's a lot more metal and mass up at the front. This means that when you install this on your rifle, the weight is going to want to sit closer to where your hand and your support is, instead of causing, torque from being a weight at the end of a lever at the end of your rifle. So this just makes it a little bit easier to maneuver the rifle. The threads are clean. Faxon makes good stuff. They usually keep a pretty good reputation for having clean machining. There's not a whole lot of machine marks on this on this barrel that you can see. The only thing you can really see is the oil from my fingers. Yeah, good crown. Star chamber is clean cut, not really seeing a whole lot of like leftover machining marks. On some cheaper AR parts or just gun parts in general, you might see, I wouldn't say unfinished, but less well finished machining. And Faxon is known for making very good parts, and this doesn't seem to betray that at all. So once again, my name is Bao Ha. I am one of the gunsmiths at Reckeback Armory, located in Mebane, North Carolina. And if you ever have anything that you need related to guns, we do gunsmithing, we do Cerakoting and gun customization. And if you have any questions about, your next AR build or any parts compatibility or anything like that, then feel free to come down and we'll be happy to help.